Sophia here and welcome to my channel. I would usually say, I'm so excited to do this review with you, but honestly, it's a little bittersweet as we discuss the final arc of this show. So this arc includes Season 5, Episode 18, called Wanted, Bebop and Rocksteady, Episode 19, The Foot Walks Again, and Episode 20, The Big Blowout. Now this arc had so much good going for it. One of my honestly favorite aspects of it is that it enabled the show to finish the way it started, on a more lighthearted, fun note. Not only did it put a smile on my face, this whole full circle event just brought in some extra depth that I could never get enough of. I love full circle events. On top of that, it was fun because, in large part, of the 80s, 90s turtles. They know how to throw a party and they know how to make fun of each other. It's great and just fun. On top of that though, it was also very satisfying because, I mean, this show draws many elements from the 80s, 90s cartoon. So to see the two counterparts work together is just so satisfying. Oh wait, speaking of satisfying, we gotta mention the teamwork because everyone pooling in their resources in the way that they did was just the warm fuzzies I needed to end this show. Now, on the topic of profound, if you guys know me as a reviewer, you know I love the deep. So this conflict of restlessness that the turtles were grappling with was, I think, a poignant question, and it was a poignant message, especially coming from Bebop and Rocksteady. So not only do we have this symmetry going on with heroes and villains alike, but the villains also show us that if you want to turn over a new leaf, don't let your past hold you back. Go out and do it. Now, I wish that the turtles received that same level of closure as Bebop and Rocksteady did. Now, I'm all about it, obviously, that I love what Bebop and Rocksteady are able to do with their lives. I just wish that the turtles didn't have to just magically accept their way of life now. But let's be real, it's not like there is absolutely nothing left for the turtles to do. While the Shredder and Tiger Claw and the Krang really posed serious danger for the turtles and, you know, the planet itself, oh, but there's so many villains still out there. I just remembered that the Triceratons, I mean, sure, let's... Who was that Admirable, wow, I can speak English. There was the Admiral who did get blown up when Honeycutt sacrificed himself, but the Triceraton Empire as a whole is still out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if the turtles run into them again. Speaking of Honeycutt, he's out there in Earth's orbit repairing himself, so wouldn't it be great if he reunited with the turtles? Okay. Maybe let's bring it back closer to Earth. The Purple Dragons are out there doing their thing with Hun in charge, and Hun always had big crime ambitions, so he could still pose a threat for at least the Foot Clan, if not the Turtles. The Crank could always return, it's not like they were completely exterminated. Fishface has his underground crime ring of mutants, so even if the Mighty Mutanimals and the Foot Clan can kind of handle the small crime that the Turtles might be too busy to take care of, the Turtles are still responsible for many hapless mutants due to their Season 2 blunder. So I'm pretty sure they could probably lend a hand with giving those poor mutants a better walk of life. You know, like there's Timothy that's kind of hanging out in Donnie's lab while Donnie makes a gravity-resistant calzone generator. Yeah. Now what else do you think the Turtles could get up to in their spare time? Because I just remember General Griffin and the government, so I probably forgot something, so yeah, comment below. Now in the spirit of full circle events, I figured I would continue the rest of this review in a bit of a more familiar format. Let's do it.
Remember your training. Turtles fight with honor.
Huh? Eh? Doesn't this bring back some memories? Now let's talk about the 90s turtles. They are certainly well-meaning crime fighters with their own lovable catchphrases and quirks. That said, they were rather clumsy to the point where our resident turtles had to bail them out several times. That was actually rather unfortunate and even slightly repetitive in my opinion, because the avoidance of using their weapons was already dealt with in Transdimensional Turtles. At least the training montage was pretty fun.
Anyone need a little backup?
The Foot Clan were not as bored or even restless as the Turtles were. Karai and Shinigami stayed sharp on patrol, even though there wasn't really anything they needed to intervene with. When the going got tough, though, they provided some very much needed backup against Krang and the Shredder.
Mutanimals! Ho!
As for the mighty Mutanimals, it was great to see Leatherhead, Slash, and even Mondo Gecko. The trio worked well enough with their familiar and unfamiliar turtle allies. I wish Rockwell, and especially Mona Lisa, made a final appearance in this episode, though.
This city doesn't need us anymore.
I'm on the fence between impressed and disappointed that the turtles were faring poorly in the time of peace. Last time their enemies laid low, they celebrated for weeks and let their victory get to their heads. This time around, their arrogance won't be their undoing, on the plus side. However, boredom could very well cause their downfall because their skills could get worse without practice. Regardless, I think Leo had it hardest out of his brothers. On top of the boredom they all felt, Leo also felt useless because he wasn't achieving his perceived duties to protect the city. He was so desperate to be heroic that he risked solo hand-to-hand combat with regular citizens to get it. It ultimately failed because rescuing individuals doesn't measure up in stress or even self-gratification of saving galaxies, humanity, or even the planet. Again, I'm not sure what our heroes took out of this arc, but at least things ended on a happy note for them.
But what do we want to destroy the world for? We like the world. All we ever wanted was some paper and respect. Is that too much to ask?
As I also mentioned in the beginning, Bebop and Rocksteady encountered the same issue as the Turtles, but they had a different solution. Instead of just accepting the peaceful moment, Bebop and Rocksteady realized that what they wanted wasn't actually what they needed. Once they had that clear understanding, they took their lives into their own hands. And I'd like to think they'll do well for themselves in the future. Shredder and Krang were a different story for sure. Shredder especially was quite the moron. It was actually very satisfying watching our heroes take him down so easily. I'm glad that he didn't stick around though, because he didn't really pose a challenge for anyone.
You guys were awesome. If you ever need help in the future, you know where to find us.
Thank you so very, very much, not just for watching this review, because I know many of you have been following me since maybe the beginning of this channel. I don't have words to describe how much your support has meant, not just to me, to this channel. It has been a genuine pleasure working with you on this era of the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. The cast and the crew, I've said it many times, have put so much dedicated effort into a beautiful show with amazing characters, and I have watched us as a group come together in our special camaraderie to discuss this show, what made it special, what worked, and even what didn't. I hope some of you at least will join me as we talk about the Dragon Prince, but I'm also interested if there are other shows that you would like me to discuss. Comment down below as to what they are, and I'll be so excited to check them out. But in the meantime, thank you for your support, because this channel would not be even a thing if it weren't for all of you. So thank you. Until next time, my ninjas.